Okay, we'll get back on and do your bonus read. I'm going to use the Albano Rider-Waite Tarot for your reading. I'm a bit sort of over these decks, but I haven't quite got to that point yet. Still waiting for my desk to be put together and I can start putting my office back together. Wheel of Fortune jumping through here. Now, I really like the Wheel of Fortune when it comes out, especially when it jumps out the deck like that. And I feel like I need to say to you, if you're stuck or you're feeling like you want to go in a new direction and life seems really like it's stuck in one place at the moment, then things are about to change, and they can be quite dramatic with the Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes we're left by the universe to go through sort of healing time, so we have time out from the universe to do things with. And most people sit around and find it really frustrating, and they get upset and they say, I feel like things are stuck and we're not going anywhere. And I say to people when they say that to me, this is the time to pour your creativity out, because that's the best way to get things moving. So if you write poetry, if you paint, if you draw, if your pleasure is going out and playing sport, walking, cycling, whatever it is, that is the time to really jump on this, because that will help you move the universe forward, because your creativity will work with your blocks. So in other words, if you're feeling stuck, the creative energy you have flowing will help you to feel unstuck. Not only that, but it does relieve your stress and it does make time go quicker. So if you have things to do that you can really invest in, it's a really nice way to work with the energies rather than fight against it. And if you fight against it and keep trying to get things moving or keep trying, it just seems to slow things down. It's like the watched kettle or watched pot that never boils. So yeah, if you get the Wheel of Fortune coming out, it says things are going to change. There is great change coming. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I shuffled heaps after I pulled that card, so it was meant to come out regardless. All right, so the Wheel of Fortune is, as I said, means the change is coming. The wheel is about to turn in your favor. I feel like a lot of people over the last probably several months have closed out cycles that have kept them trapped. I've seen it a lot in personal readings, and I've certainly seen it a lot in the videos on YouTube when I've had the time to watch them. But it's like people are starting to understand their personal patterns. People are becoming observers. People are starting to look things up and understand things. Like, you know, you used to talk to people and people would be so unaware of what was going on, but now people have already checked things out, already understand what's going on. All right, so the Temperance card tells me that the time is right for something. The time is right for change. The time is right for you to move forward. The timing is right. You've completed something. Things are back in balance. It's time to go forward. This also sort of says to me, if you've been through a healing or you've come through something and it's time to sort of heal, then you may be in the healing phase at the moment, but you are certainly starting to move forward in the very near future if you haven't already, especially with the Temperance card coming. Oh wow, we have all major arcanas. I feel like something is about to be revealed to you. Now, this could be something that you're seeing yourself or something you're understanding for yourself. Like I said, people nowadays have got the resources to look up what's going on. I don't even know how much I've discovered through just Googling. I'm a Google girl. Somebody once said to me, how can you trust what you read on Google? Now if you're a researcher, you will never go to a site that you don't know. You'll always follow the sites that have some basis, but never rely on one site. If you're going to Google something and you get an answer to something and you read up on about it and you feel that it feels right to you, still go and check out other sites. Sometimes they may be slightly different or they may give you slightly different information, but at the end of the day, they'll all fit together. You'll know where you stand. The Moon card says to me, you're discovering something. You're finding something out that's going to help you move forward. It could be something that you're discovering within yourself. It could be something that you're understanding about yourself. But the Moon card tells me that there is something about you here that you are discovering, which is going to help you move forward. And I see this sort of being able to let things flow again. I feel like the Four of Pentacles, yeah, see these cards here say to me, you've been in a bind. There's freedom coming. I feel like here there's an energy of like giving up the fight, going with the flow. Similar energy to the What's Cracking reading, where you're understanding there is no point fighting against things. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do. I was watching the war on Ukraine last night, which is so distressing. But as much as I find them distressing, I like to know what's going on. But I remember watching it and at one point thinking, those poor people, there were children crying because they'd left everything behind, including their own fathers. There were people that had, you know, beautiful homes and lots of memories and whatever else, and they can't take all of those with them. But it makes you realize how grateful you need to be for what you have, because it's only moments' notice for them to pack up and go and leave everything behind. And a lot of them didn't even know where they were going. They were going into another country where they didn't know what awaited them. And I feel like that's how unpredictable life can be. You know, just to have that sort of level of distress and sadness through being put through something that you have absolutely no control over. And it made me feel very humble. Especially when that little boy was crying because he had to leave his father behind. And I thought even that, you know, so distressing. So I feel like here there is some sort of energy here of understanding that you can't fight against the universe. Understanding that it is about letting go and just allowing it to happen. And you know, sometimes when you get into this energy, sometimes when you realize you can't make things happen, sometimes it's a beautiful feeling just knowing that I can't do anything about it, and therefore I just have to accept that that is how it's going to be. Now, some things obviously you can do something about. Some things you do have the power to fight for. Some things that you do have the power to do something about. But for the most part, the universe just does her own thing. People just do their own thing. And if you're sort of fighting for something you cannot control, for example, we went to a concert a couple of weeks ago. My girlfriend and I have had tickets for that for over a year. It's been cancelled many times. Finally was put on at Berry. It was beautiful concert for what we saw of it, but I gave up in the end. I got so tired of it. Was pouring with rain. People just wanted to climb over you all the time to get to their place because it was the shortest way. I tried to move my chair. I tried to accommodate, and people still even pushed me out of the way when I was trying to film part of things. And I stood there after a while and said to my friend, I can't deal with this any longer. I was soaking wet. We'd paid good money for the tickets. We watched most of the acts. We left in the second last act, which was the act I was wanting to see, but it was just so atrocious. People were drinking, they didn't care anymore, they were just traipsing over the top of your things, and it was just really hideous. And I nearly ended up in a fight with someone because of it. But just sometimes you just have no control over things. Like no matter what I tried to do, the more I tried to stop things happening, the worse they happened. So I know the universe just has a way of testing your resolve. And I feel like this is what's happening here. It's about just letting up and going with the flow. I do feel there's great change coming through here. There seems to be some sort of communication coming through, possibly in regard to work or a job. There's definitely money flowing here. And I feel like somehow or another, that Seven of Swords energy just says to me, you need to just take what you need and go. It'll all sort itself out. So there is no need to grab up and fight with things. Just allow them to go. Oh, look at that. Perfect card. So the Fool card comes out. Sometimes we just have to do this. Sometimes we just have to let things go and hope that things will work out the way they need to. And if they don't, then we need to know that we have the capacity to work with that. And that's what it's all about. It's knowing that we have the strengths and the strength of spirit to be able to say, well, you know what, that's the way it is and I can't do anything about it. Now, if it's something you can do something about, by all means fight for what you think you need to fight for. But at the end of the day, a lot of the time it's just worth letting go. And I can probably say that most of you here will know at least one example when you've tried to fight for something and you haven't won. but we still, in some respects, need to fight for our own integrity, our own peace, our right to have something. Sometimes we have to feel like we need to fight, but a lot of the time it just becomes futile. So the Fool card says to me, you just need to turn your back on something and walk away for victory. So turning your back on something and walking away for victory. Sometimes you just have to do that. So for example, if you're in a job where you cannot get anybody to listen to what you have to say and you feel unheard, sometimes it's better just to leave the job. If you're in a relationship and you're constantly sticking up for yourself and arguing for things and it's not working out the way you need it to be, sometimes you just have to say, that's it. I can't do any more. Whether it's with a family member or a romantic relationship, it's okay sometimes to just turn your back and walk away. And you know what? A lot of people say to me, I'm glad, it's the best thing I ever did. So really and truly, the universe saying to you here that it's actually the best thing to do in whatever circumstance I'm talking to you at the moment. See, you just need to sort of realize who you are here with the Queen of Wands. You're not a lesser person because you don't fight. You're not a lesser person because you have to give up sometimes. And sometimes we put so much effort into things, but at the end of the day, we still don't win. And is it about winning? And is it about losing? I mean, they're really poor examples, but sometimes you just need to turn your back and walk away. You need to be the Queen of Wands. You need to remember who you are and just go and look and go with the Chariot. Okay, let me just get into this energy here. I feel like I've covered it really well there. You know, I look at the Queen of Wands and she's really focusing on this Chariot, and I feel like you just need to turn your back on something here. If you want victory, you need to turn your back on something, realize who you are and move forward. That's pretty clear energy there. But sometimes we keep fighting for things because somehow we feel we're going to win. And you know, no matter what you do, sometimes you're just not going to. And I feel like that is what I'm talking to here. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups coming through with the Four of Cups. There it is. Okay. And the Sun. The Sun over the Chariot is actually really nice energy, especially with the Fool over the Ace of Cups. I feel like for some of you here, you're definitely turning your back on something. And maybe you're turning your back on a family that don't agree with somebody that you're with. Because that sort of feels to me like I'm speaking to somebody here who wants to be with somebody, but there is so much resistance from people that really shouldn't be telling you what to do and how to live your life. And you will be turning your back on family, friends, because here it looks like you are ready to move into the next phase of your life and you're meeting with resistance. And sometimes people resist because they don't want us to move away. They're not prepared to grow with us, but they want to stop you growing. That's the tall poppy syndrome. I feel whatever this is I'm talking to here, it's like there's an opportunity here that you're fighting for, but the opportunity looks to be already yours. But I see you turning your back on something to walk away from it because of this having to fight and stand up for yourself. But there's no need to, because coming forward here is this energy that something is going to be offered to you that is really, really beautiful. And maybe it's what you wanted all along and you've been fighting for the wrong thing. So if you've been fighting for a relationship that was really, really difficult, but you were fighting for it, and maybe you've lost sight of why you were fighting in the first place, then I want to say to you, something better is out there for you. Look at that. Nine of Pentacles energy with the Three of Swords. Out of sorrow comes happiness. And the Judgment card, very interesting. I'll pull a card at random to go on that. Page of Cups. There's definitely an offer here. You're ending out some sort of cycle here to move towards something. Possibly a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. All right, let's just have a look. I feel like something is about to change. I feel like it's almost like the universe is saying to you, give up the fight and you'll be rewarded here. But something here is coming into balance. Perhaps something you can't see at the moment. I see you fighting for something that you don't need to fight for. There's an energy that something is coming here. Something perhaps you've wanted or wished for, and maybe you have fought for it, but it's like the reward is in the giving up. I can't quite snag that energy coming through here, so I'm going to sort of try and dig a little bit deeper. Maybe you're hanging on to the past here with the Judgment card, and maybe you're not focusing on the love you need for yourself. Maybe that's where you need to go. I feel like I want to say to you, take a chance on yourself here, because you are the Queen of Wands. And there is victory in that. Focusing on you, loving yourself. Taking that leap of faith into something. But there's a feeling here that maybe that is the cycle you're closing out. It's like you're fighting for the very thing that you should be giving up in order to have it. Let me say that again. It's like you're fighting for something. You're fighting for something here. And there's the fighting card that just flipped out on me. You're fighting for something that if you gave up on it, you would have. So it's almost like you have to give up on something to earn it back. Now, quite possibly it's a person. This could also be a father figure or a masculine around you that you are fighting against. I don't feel that that is work. I feel like it has something to do with love. You may be fighting for a second chance at something, but in fact, in walking away, you'll get your second chance. But whatever I see here, it's very much about closing something down and moving forward. It's about letting go of something in order to receive your happiness. I do see like this card next to the Nine of Cups and that Nine of Pentacles and that Nine of Cups. There you go, wish card. That says it all for me. It's like giving up the hurt and pain and walking into your own energy or your own happiness in order to win at something, in order to have a victory. And that's the victory there. I'm just going to put 3 more cards. Oh, 3 came out anyway. All right, look at that. Again with this energy, now you've got the Queen of Cups coming up against the King of Cups. So maybe you're fighting for something that is already yours. It's already destined, but you're so focused on the past here that you're not moving forward as you should. And all the same energy again. Let go, flow, move forward. Don't get stuck in that past energy. It's keeping you trapped in something here. But I feel like somehow or another with that Wheel of Fortune that things are about to start moving forward. All right, let's pull you an oracle card. I'm going to pull it at random this time. Earthed, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. I just want to have a look at that because I feel that that one will need to be read to see how it applies. The challenge for all souls having a human experience is to be in the world but not of it. To realize they are souls having a human experience and to be fully conscious of it, to have their soul fully embodied their body. People's personalities tend to relate to either transcendence or immanence. Those who lean towards transcendence have a longing for the heavens and the mid. Oh, okay. I've talked to this card before. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes when we start to understand spirituality, it becomes so comfortable for us we don't want to live in the real world anymore. We start cutting ourselves off from people and feeling comfortable being by ourselves, enjoying our own solitude, doing what we want to do. And other people feel more comfortable in the human realm, which means that they find it hard to embrace spirituality. So it's sort of like the logic and the spiritual. And I feel like having a balance of both is what Spirit is talking about here. Don't get stuck in the logical world and don't get stuck in the spiritual world where you are completely cutting yourself off from the world you live in. So it's learning to be spiritual but with a human existence. And I feel that might help you get unstuck. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.